Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday Night Chaos Magic here on Open Minds, Open Mic. It's a pleasure to see you all. Bill, Black Salt, Cat is in the background. We have Generalissimo. We have Rich on deck. We've got Paul, and we've got Martin, and I'm excited to hear what everybody's got tonight. We're gonna get this thing kicked off. Generalissimo is on deck, but up first, we have none other than Bill Elkins, and I'm excited to hear what you have for us tonight, Bill.
Be glad to kick it off. Honored.
We're honored to have you, sir.
Yeah, I got the green light. I hear the sounds of silence. Excuse me, Paul Simon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is all yours when you are ready, sir.
Okay. In that case, I'd like to start it off with a cover and then do an original. The cover song I'd like to do, it's a like to do. I know there's been a lot of Dylan songs that people are doing, including myself lately, but I want to do on here one of his soulmates, Donovan. Catch the Wind. I'd like to start off with that.
We can't hear anything, Bill.
Yeah, do you have original sound for music?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, where is that? That's up in real sound. There we go. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
South America means
South
the continent that comprises the southern half of the American landmass,
What the-
connected to North America by the Isthmus of Panama.
What is
It
it?
includes the Falkland Islands, the Galapagos Islands, and Tierra del Fuego.
What's going on, man? Okay. Does that sound better? In the 2 years and minutes of uncertainty, I want to be in the warm hold of your love and mine. To feel you all around me and to take your hand along the sand. But I may as well try and catch the wind. When sundown fills the sky, I want to hide a while behind your smile. And everywhere I'd look, your eyes I'd find. Yeah, for me to love you now could be the sweetest thing, would make me sing. But I may as well try and catch the wind. When the rain has hung the leaves with tears I want you near to kill my fear, to help me to leave all my blues behind. For standing in your heart is where I want to be and want to be. But I may as well try and catch the wind. But I may as well try and catch the wind. But I may as well try and catch the wind. That came across okay?
Yeah, you're kind of over modulating. It's like there's too much volume because there's distortion.
Oh, okay.
There's two choices, original sound for music, and then they have this beta thing now for a live performance. I don't know which one you checked.
I think I don't know. I can turn the volume down a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Is that better?
That is better, at least for me. It's a bit better.
Okay.
Definitely better.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm doing original, and I'm off the stage here, so to speak. I will do Kareem. Hope you like it. Oh boy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Here we go. All right, here we go. Sweet lady from Salinas, my brown-eyed Cornelian queen. My love for you is boundless. I'm so goddamn thankful you love me. You saved me from oblivion. You're my angel in the night. New Pepsi generation, we Coke Classic unite. I pray you never lose you, because life would become empty and dark. Kareem, my barefoot senorita, you enchant me with your luminescent smile. You fill my world with sunshine and captivate me with your style. You challenge me in my thinking, make me laugh when I'm forlorn. You tease me when I'm too serious and chide me when I'm gone. You're inexorably a part of me, and I appreciate you so, Kareem. When I look into your eyes, I tread where I ought not dare. You completely overwhelm me with your mystical, penetrating stare. You see what I'm thinking and think what I see. You rescue me from my wasteland when you reach out to me. You're my refuge in the desert, my harbor in the storm. Colleen. You're my Juliet, you're my lover, and my best friend. When we kiss and hold each other, I write a Shakespeare with a pen. Our hearts beat together like an earthquake marking time. We become entangled in a carnal nursery rhyme. I want to live with you forever and love you forevermore. Colleen. Oh, Colleen. Colleen. Thank you, everybody. Hello.
Bill, appreciate that.
Okay. Hopefully it wasn't too, hope the sound wasn't too bad. A little tinny, maybe. I'll be better next time. Thanks.
Sounded great. Everybody unmute and give it up for Mr. Bill.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bill.
On deck, we have
Thanks,
Mr.
Paul.
Rich. And up next, we have the one and only Generalissimo. Go ahead and unmute and bless us with some words when you're. Generalissimo, step away.
Oh, I thought someone was before me. Okay, yeah, I'll go. Sure. Give me a couple seconds to pull up. I had something pulled up real quick. Okay. This was just accepted into the World Poetry Day anthology for Moonstone Arts out of Philadelphia. It's called The Wabi Sabi of It All. Once upon a time, I entered a colorful photo of a sunset into Photoshop and turned it black and white, which made the sky look like the calm before a storm. Once upon a time, I witnessed a friend's grandmother removing wilted petals from roses she had picked from her backyard rose bushes, carefully arranging them in a crystal vase filled with Sprite. I wonder if I had explained the concept of wabi sabi to her, would she have left the wilted petals be? Of course, I didn't learn about wabi sabi till after she died. Once upon a time, I sent my mother a dozen yellow roses on my parents' anniversary the year after Dad died. She informed me my father used to send her yellow roses on her birthday, which I didn't know about. I wanted to plant a yellow rose bush behind my parents' gravestones and was informed it was against cemetery rules. It's been almost 11 years since she passed. I have an urge to plant that rose bush anyway. And this one, what is the title of this? Why isn't the title here? Hold on. It's called The Shard Truth. A diamond's value is judged on brilliance and clarity. Brilliance, which creates sparkle, is how white light refracts through the diamond. Clarity is how a diamond surface allows for greater brilliance. There must be a point, though, when brilliance impedes clarity. Every day I wake, I step barefooted onto carpeted floor, yet find myself walking on broken glass. Glass sharp enough to pierce the soles of my feet. I step into the shower, and instead of smooth tile, there is broken glass. I slip into thick, soft winter socks and comfortable boots, and every step I take is on broken glass. This glass is not composed of silica, sodium, calcium, and carbon. It is a mishmash of stress, depression, anxiety, trauma, and turmoil. Every so often, I meet another broken glass person. I know they are a broken glass person because broken glass people have broken glass person radar. Likewise, the other broken glass person will realize I'm a broken glass person. While we try to hide being broken glass people from non-broken glass people, we can discuss our broken glass with other broken glass people without judgment, creating a makeshift chosen family community of broken glass people. Every broken piece of broken glass has a shelf life. Like sea glass that gets tumbled smooth by ocean sand with ocean current. Each shard of a broken glass person's broken glass gets tumbled by being stepped on daily, pushed into sand by decisions made, only to resurface repeatedly till it has been worn as smooth as sea glass. When that happens, the broken glass person retrieves it and transforms it into a smile, or poem, or painting, or frittata, or sweet potato, pistachio, pina colada pancakes. The non-broken glass people who bear witness to this formerly soul-piercing piece of broken glass will marvel at its brilliance. But broken glass people will know what they are experiencing is a piece of broken glass that has achieved clarity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Generalissimo. That was beautiful work. Beautiful work. Everybody, unmute and give it up for Generalissimo at this time.
Nicely done there, Generalissimo. Broken glass people. Catchy.
Well, pistachio pina colada pancakes.
That's a mouthful. I'm salivating.
They have yet to be invented. I just put them together for the poem. So
Sounds yummy.
That was a mistake then, because now I want a home delivery in a couple days.
Yeah, you and I both.
welcome to
Very
the sweet
good.
potato, by the way.
Amazing. Well, on deck we have Paul Skip, but up next we have Mr. Rich. Go ahead and bless us with those words when you are ready, sir.
Thank you very much. Are you able to hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yep, sound great.
Okay, good.
Hey, Bill, I think you need to mute your microphone.
Okay. Yes.
All right. This poem was published some months ago in the Fixed and Free Quarterly. It's called Without Our Customers, We Are Nothing. The little toddler baby was having a horrible, brutal first day of work as a cashier at the supermarket. At only a year and a half old, she was having a tough time making her little fingers work on the buttons and screen, and she really didn't know how to read or count yet. But she needed the job. She needed the job because in this economy, her parents were barely making ends meet, and so she needed this job. She needed it. The customer in front of her was practically screaming himself hoarse at her because figuring out which of the pictures on the screen meant a pack of Marlboros was too much for her little brain to handle, and it took her forever to get this guy his cigarettes from the cabinet at customer service and then toddle back over to the high chair behind her register. "You got the wrong ones, you idiot," screamed the customer, his rubbery, dark arson fire of a face ominous. Imaginary black smoke billowed in a tower above his head like a burnt-out thought cloud. "Don't you know how to goddamned read?" The baby, whose name was Sarah, started to blubber and cry softly and piteously because she really needed this job, and she was frightened of this hollering man who had no patience, and because she was only 1.5 years old. Margaret, the store manager, appeared out of nowhere, profusely apologizing for Sarah with her large, fat mouth to the customer. The customer, still hollering, suddenly orgasmed with pleasure and a long groan and a shudder also at being so quickly placated and apologized to by someone who was of the manager race. Margaret then turned to Sarah and fired her on the spot and told her to get out of the store. Sarah, still in tears, toddled out of the store, beyond despondent in her little pink jumper, and staggered out into the hot, sweltering, angry, and hostile 4th of July midday traffic, wailing and crying so hard that she couldn't even see where she was going, and all of the cars, swerving fast out of her listless way, haunted her meanly because they had important white picnics to go to. The sun set roughly later on. She really should have been a better employee. Thanks.
Oh, absolutely incredible, Rich. Do you have another one you want to share?
Sure. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to share a poem that was published today. There's an online literary journal called Cul-de-sac of Blood. They're based in Philadelphia. What they publish is work that's based on or about or through horror. And you can take horror in a number of different directions on their magazine. They'll body horror, psychological horror, sci-fi horror, any admixture of horror plus something else. And so um, this is a poem that's called "It's Okay to Be Afraid Sometimes." Let me pull this one up here. Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. And my thanks to the editors of the magazine for giving this poem a home. My bedroom shares a wall with my neighbor, a woman I don't know and have never seen. The headboard of my bed is right up against a wall through which I hear a lot of things I can't understand. Sometimes I have to tell myself to remember that heaven is supposed to be a nice place. Beverly, at the rental office, told me that the new neighbor's name was Myrna, and that she's new, just moved in a week ago, and that Myrna sure seemed like a nice girl, and that I should look forward to some peace and quiet after all that stuff with the last neighbors. I only know what I know about Myrna because I went to the office yesterday to ask about the noises I've been hearing for the last several days. On Myrna's first night here, 7 days ago, I heard the sound of a match being struck at about 1 in the morning, and the sound was so loud that I turned around, thinking someone had snuck into my place. But it was her, and just after the match strike, I heard a laugh so bitter as to make me feel ashamed of myself for no reason. I remember when the priest told me it's okay to be afraid sometimes. On Myrna's second night here, 6 days ago, again about 1, a power drill revved up for a second real loud. Then that laugh. Then a whimper from a different voice from the first. I was scared, but I banged on the wall to remind her of the time. And at that, I heard a fast gasp, and then I heard nothing. The clock on the wall watched me not sleep the rest of the night. The night after that, I heard shattering glass, like someone took a big pipe to a mirror. Another bitter, resigned laugh. Each night since then, a match strike promptly at 1 a.m. More hateful laughter, more whimpering from the voice that wasn't the one doing the laughing. What am I supposed to do? I'm only 10 years old, and I shouldn't have to deal with this, and I can't do everything by myself. I wish Mom and Dad would come back to me from heaven. Thanks.
Wow, absolutely amazing, Rich. I I just gotta say, I've heard you read several times now, and I absolutely love the visual storytelling and the emotion transmuted through your writing. It is absolutely incredible, and thank you so much. Thank you.
That's awesome of you to say that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
No, absolutely. You know, there's several times that I've heard you now. You know, you paint such a beautiful picture, and you know, it allows me to kind of get sucked right into the storyline as if I'm one of the characters, and that emotion that's transmuted during that process. It's You're an incredible writer. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Everybody unmute and give Mr. Rich a round of applause.
Nicely done, Rich. Nicely done. Elegant clarity with words.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. I like your very steady delivery too. Very a deliberate delivery.
I really appreciate that as well. I mean, all of what you're saying, everybody, I'm grateful for it. The delivery part is something that I think is just crucial. Some of the very best poets that I've ever heard. When I was just a boy in college, this is decades ago. I had the opportunity to see some amazing established writers, James Tate, um, and some other writers too that I think of, and they were. I had been to open mics around that time, and I'd seen a lot of people who declaimed, some who screamed, some who rasped, um, and about half the time, most of that was without deliberation or intention. It was just sort of scrambling behind a upright microphone. But then I heard poets who, uh, first of all, you could tell that they had actually rehearsed what they were going to read before they read it. Um, and I since then I acquired a taste for um, being a little judgy about other poets because when I hear poets, I've heard many poets, especially in the virtual arena, who have features, and you can kind of tell that they're just winging it, and they're licking their thumb and flipping through pages like they haven't even given 47 seconds worth of thought to what they're going to read. Um, and I always feel mortified for them and for me when I, when I encounter that. Rehearsal is it's just indispensable if you want people to get behind what you're doing. You got to just know how to read it. There's no two ways about that.
Absolutely great advice, Rich. I know delivery is something that I'm working on. I'm getting out in front of people on open mics. You know, the virtual world I find is a totally different world than actually standing in front of a room full of people. So I've been pushing myself to get out in public and start reading so I can better understand myself as well as recording myself at the house trying to read a piece and then playing it back to myself so I can see where kind of the dividends lie, where, you know.
Yeah, that's the move. Locate the dead spots. You know, if you have a feature set, and you might think once you finished writing it down on a piece of notebook paper, oh, I have a great set. But then if you read it out loud to yourself or play it back, you can hear where there may be, you have crests and then you have valleys,
Mhm.
and the valleys can be places where people might start to tune out. Um, and I think it's you're on the that's the move is just to start hearing yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and even with that should actually be a part of people's writing as far as I'm concerned. When I write, I use a program that plays my own voice back to me. Um, and then I listen and I go, I, I'm on the right track. I think I'm about 75% drafting this poem. But what I just heard bores me. So let's change this up. And it's
Mhm.
just more and more of that. And that's only because people don't have to listen to me. They can go and do something way more exciting than listening to me. So I owe it to somebody. If I'm going to ask you to listen to a poem of mine, I had better bring something engaging I mean, I just don't have any right at all. I have no right to ask for anybody to listen to my poems if I haven't done my best with them.
Right, right. No, fully
Well,
understand. I'm kind of at that crossroads with my stuff because I've been writing for a long time, but I just started like sharing it and reading it not even a year ago, to be honest with you. I started sharing it, and then probably about 10 months ago, I started reading it. And I'm very critical over myself, and I keep experimenting not only with the reading, but with the writing of my poetry. Getting more and more experimental, pushing myself more and more, challenging myself. Um, because I'm not happy with I'm it is what it is, but I'm not happy where my style is at. It's almost like I've got that internal voice, but I'm trying to capture that external voice that just rattles in my head all the time, if that makes any kind of
No,
sense.
that absolutely makes sense. I mean, that's the move too. I mean, I don't know if you know a poet called Mark States.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Mark.
I was
Mark is a friend of
actually
mine.
on
We're
Richard Sprecik's feature last week
oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
heard you read and then Mark read as well. He's another amazing poet.
So Mark and I have talked about stage preparation. I would say almost ceaselessly. We get on. We're friends, and I really like the guy, and his writing is great. And I have to say that he is a living, breathing, walking clinic on how to prepare for a feature spot because he records, he trims it down. We've talked about how people say, like at an open mic, someone will say, "We have 5 minutes," and some of these poets are like, "Ugh, how many poems can I cram into 5 minutes?" What are you doing? Why would you want to do that? Let read just one poem if it's good enough. Maybe one poem and something really, really short, but the rush to cram everything you can into 5 minutes is such an insult to poetry and to the craft and to your own work, you know? Um, you're not the same person. Who's open minds, open mic in the chat? I'm confused.
That is Catalyst.
Oh, Catalyst. Thank you, Catalyst. I just saw a comment about the magnetism of my voice, and I really appreciate that. So I don't want to take too much more time, but thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Rich. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
well, it's
On
harder
deck.
to figure out how to deliver online because you can't hear yourself. And so much depends on the various tech. Everybody's got a different device they're listening on. So it's not going to sound the same. It's much easier to figure out how you want to deliver in a live setting because it's immediate. You can hear yourself and you can see everybody in front of you and everybody's hearing the same thing. But figuring out how to do it on a Zoom or other platform is always going to have an element of hit or miss to it just because it's the tech that's overriding whatever it is, however you attempt to sound. And, yeah, you can control it to a certain degree, but um, it's tech. So it's by its nature, it's about distortion and exaggeration.
Yeah, this
Absolutely.
I would definitely concur with you, Paul. This microphone that you see here, I'm on a MacBook Air, and I have this microphone that has a USB connection that goes into the USB into the Mac, so and I can go into the sound settings and tell the Mac that this is what is to get the sound input. I have an earbud, and I could use the big over ear earphones, but I just hate that look. They're good, but I feel like I look goofy. I don't want to. I don't. That's the last thing I want to present. And this microphone is way better, in my opinion, than the microphone that's the size of about an atom on the earbud. This is way better, and I got it for like $40 at Best Buy.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, I find I get more nervous on these than I do in a crowd now. Um, I have that nervous feeling when I walk up to the mic, but as soon as I start speaking, it all disappears. Um, it's kind of strange. Kind of strange. I think it's because there's so many people on here and I can't see I don't know what it is. I just get more nervous online than I do in person now.
You know you're alive. That's how you know you're alive, because you feel something. That's what I have to say about
Yeah.
that. And while we're at it, three things cannot be trusted: the government, the weather, and technology. And that's what I got to say about that.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I
for that.
remember. I remember what one of the original Apollo astronauts said. He said the biggest thought going through his mind as he sat on top of this huge bomb on the launch pad was that it had been made by the lowest bidder.
It's going to make you feel good at that moment. Well, on deck we have black salt, but Paul, go ahead and take it away for us.
Okay, sort of wanted to do two things. This poem really isn't finished. It has a ways to go, and it's just one of those list poems. Let me see if I can get it up. Okay. In a world without idiots, murder does not exist even as a word. In a world without idiots, no one thinks they are superior to anyone else. In a world without idiots, governments are not cruel and depraved pre-adolescent revenge fantasies. In a world without idiots, testosterone respects estrogen. In a world without idiots, corruption is not an aspirational lifestyle. In a world without idiots, a car never backs over your foot. In a world without idiots, bad status symbol tattoos do not try to pose as super cool prestige. In a world without idiots, you do not find a pit bull leashed to your parked bike. In a world without idiots, to be gender non-conforming is perfectly safe. In a world without idiots, corporations subordinate to individuals. In a world without idiots, the lesson contests teach is something other than mass inferiority. In a world without idiots, the market for sex is bankrupt. In a world without idiots, an electorate does not enthusiastically vote for people who impoverish them. In a world without idiots, 4-year-olds are not taught to mimic gangsters. In a world without idiots, there are too many better things to do than meme. In a world without idiots, weapons only exist in a museum for past mistakes. In a world without idiots, religions give up trying to control women. In a world without idiots, crime becomes an inhibition. In a world without idiots, dog do does not wait for you in the elevator. In a world without idiots, no one in the bar grabs your butt. In a world without idiots, the movie seat has no jism on it. In a world without idiots, cruelty is not promoted as an official White House policy. In a world without idiots, a popular spectator sport does not produce brain damaged players. In a world without idiots, injustice only exists as a fairy tale. In a world without idiots, everyone on the subway looks happy and content instead of glum and paranoid. In a world without idiots, a pet is not a football. In a world without idiots, child abuse has never entered anyone's mind. In a world without idiots, medical insurance is not buy one, get some, maybe. In a world without idiots, while walking up out of the train station, you are never pissed on from above. In a world without idiots, an anarchist cultural center is not torn down and replaced with $1 million condos. In a world without idiots, your seat at the bus stop bench is not occupied by a used tampon. In a world without idiots, bad nose jobs are not a requirement for politicians' wives, pop stars, celebrities, or when anyone else, because they have been convinced mutilation is the way to self-esteem. In a world without idiots, vapid, inane entertainment does not exist because there is no audience made up of people whose lives are vacuous and inane. In a world without idiots, chicken nuggets do not congeal into a rubbery glop if left standing for 30 minutes. In a world without idiots, conservative ideologues do not confuse sadistic policies with moral righteousness. That's as far as I've gotten on that poem. The next one is where did it go? Oh, sorry, I'm trying to find this poem. Enfolding nature of love's somnolent hands, dream bloomed within my despair, asking me to wonder, why do you think I came here? Mind now reflected back upon inner vision, self's search to subdue was of what? Impotent possession. Knowing is not secret power, shielding inquiry from answerlessness. Watch through me as though I were transparence of distance. I abscond as long as time warbles progression in my breath, every answer an unrisen sun. Here, where reason just becauses, in how curiosity fervently waits, I arrived here as the dream did, guest of cosmic distance and purposeful nothingness, to listen upon this earth for moon's sonorous voice. I want to memorize how to reside like a planet in the else of somewhere. Understanding is not where why ends needing to know. Hearing is to possess with no ownership. Your awareness tugged by worldly commotion, this person you apprehend my voice emanates from is not the who I am, not the am I am I, the who, not that, the who is am I am, the who I is your perception slipped on my costume of variation permanently slides between ifs, ands, or howevers, giving sight false near perfection as honesty's caution. Be prepared to adapt impermanence. Regard the vulnerable false finality of being certain. All I know is what I feel. Really, Are you confident I came here simply to gratify a want? I emerged from eternality before me, from all I do not know. So I only possess the absolute term of learning, form of needlessness through which understanding grows, just to be close with that which embraces me. My quest is departure, because you will be. I want to live embracing the time that will be without me. Friend who teaches no limits exist, as dust on the floor, an honesty perennial, a shadow chaser, as turn of direction, direction turned in direction, turning, turned, direction. How may I find my way to reside within vital core that is origins need to begin, to be a question, an imperative, a gift placed in the empty bowl? Each day as I move closer to radiated energy indigenous between these points where nothing is in me but emotion, free from confusion, before essence became material location, not directed toward explanation of reality or solution of practical problems. There will be enough vulgarity, haughty contempt, and other base forms of need to seek advantage, individuality, the illusion puppetizing self-deception as the who needing to employ conceit where self-worth confuses sovereignty with superior status, but being human is not won through contest or ownership of the self. Who you are is not established as a form of dominance over others. Return from where you have been misled. Feel free as the who you were born. Vitiate. However much we are different from each other, this moment somehow combined us into itself. Our mutual distance from similarity is understanding's invitation, so together we are counted within this single time. Unhumanly, we coincide here, both humanly resonant in this happenstance, plain as the sky. When I cannot sense the ground beneath me, I have found the else of somewhere. Thanks.
Absolutely beautiful, Paul. Absolutely amazing. Everybody unmute and give it up for Paul at this time.
Nicely done, Paul, nicely done.
Well shared.
Yes, the else is somewhere.
Absolutely love it.
Indeed.
On deck, we have one and only Park William, but up next, Black Salt. Go ahead and bless us, please. Looking forward to it.
I'm ready. Bill, could you mute? Okay, yeah, there you go. It's a little bit of static from your microphone. So I got two pieces. The first piece is called Blackbirds Born to Fly, and the second piece is called Sleep with the Dolls. The Goddess is Fair. And so I'll start out with the first piece. Blackbirds Born to Fly. Here we go. Blackbirds was born to fly. Stop at the dark side. Don't ask why. Dark time. Don't give up. Laugh to cry. Dig me up when I die. Black clocks running out of time. Black coffee, milk and wine. Halloween, kids and candy. Wake up on the work day. Blood, sweat, and brandy. Rich or poor, same price. Bill piled up by the door. The devil wants more. But Blackbird was born to fly. Dig me up when I die. And that is Blackbirds Born to Fly. Moving on to the second piece. Sleep. Sleep with the dolls. The goddess is fair. Here we go. Men are loyal, but the goddess is fair. Black dolls sleep with the dolls. Puppies and kittens, purple and pink. Men don't feel, and women don't think. It's not as simple as you think. Woman in black and men in pink. Use a nightlight to go to bed. Fluffy pillow for your head. She hid the key underneath the bed. The goddess knows why you're scared. Monster in the closet. We live in fear. But men are loyal. But the goddess is fair. Black doll. Sleep with the doll. And that is Sleep with the Dolls, the goddess is fair. And that's what I got for tonight. Thanks for listening.
And thank you very much, Black Salt. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Everybody unmute and give it up for Black Salt.
Really smooth work, Black Salt. Really like the first piece, and the second piece was pretty punchy too. Thanks.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for sharing your work.
Thank you, Rich.
Absolutely. Up next, we have Park William. Martin, bless us when you are ready, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, John Michael, and everybody here tonight. I got a cover to start with. It's called Night Rise by one Lynn Stottle. They say that night falls, they're mistaken. It rises from the land slowly like litmus in water, unfurling inky tendrils of blue, reaching out and up to color the world in shades of mystery. Sweet is the evening air, whispering across sun-kissed skin, lending a soothing balm to comfort. Fireflies aloft on its breath, the world sighs contentedly. Soon the frenetic soundtrack of the day fades with the sun. As the first strings of the Sicilian symphony warm, the last guests alight on soft pine boughs. It is as if a master has broadly stroked the sky with luminary elegance. So it begins, this rising of night, the magical hour, the anticipated grand finale of day. Slowly rising twilight lends its romantic ambience to glimmer over smooth water. And I chose that as a cover because I have a poem I wrote last week called Night Rise. At night rise, I retreat to my recumbent lair where wyverns cavort with chameleons and owls. Amid the lexicons stacked on the shelves, a varied collection of consonants and vowels. I've searched for words within these tomes, a way to connect with the yearning inside, distracting me from the silent howls that echo through the halls of my mind. At dayfall, I drift away as the sun invades this space and the webs I've spun. That's me for tonight. Thank you very much. I'll put my links in the chat as usual.
Thank you very much, Martin. Appreciate it. Powerful as always. It's always a blessing to hear your words. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always being here.
Thank you.
Everybody, unmute and give it up for Mr. Martin Parker, please.
Very sensuous work. It was a pleasure to experience, Martin.
Thank you.
Yep, well done. I actually did a double or triple take when I heard the word wyvern, which I don't think I've heard in any Zoom since Zoom became into existence.
Well, actually, it came out of that word was originally dragons, because I have a stuffed dragon on my shelf here. But somebody in my poetry critique workshop just said, wyverns would sound cooler there. So I thought I'd try it out.
There we go.
Well placed. Well placed. Thank you. Terry, I seen you came into the room. Would you like to read anything for us tonight? You're muted. All right. Well, let's see if I have anything. Let's see. I didn't plan on reading anything tonight. I have a piece that was just published in Grey Coven Publishing's second anthology, titled by the name of Tarot. It's out right now. This is a piece called Silent Torture. To lay in silent torture as the tourniquet tightens like two hands of a noose around my throat, inching every last breath from my lungs. Fear, running as deep as my self-doubt, deep cuts from controlling words that slash through my every emotion like a knife, lacerating me with each letter released by your pestilent whispers, leaving me covered in succulent scars from your sadistic lack of self-confidence. I hear your cadence of sibilance like a marching band within my rattling eardrum. Eye ducts all dried to release any more tears on your venomous soul. You're nothing but a poisonous plague. And yet I have survived more than you. Once I remembered who I was and what I was capable of, you were nothing but a rat-carrying sickness. And I am stronger for surviving such plagues and works of evil. I come from the darkness, and I have been beaten down by my own whispers than anything you could give, yet handle. You're nothing, and I am everything. Now I release you and take back my soul. For I belong to fate. And you will fall victim to your own karmic fault. That's all I have for tonight. Um, I'm not sure. Terry, did you want to share something for us tonight? I know Nadia was just listening in. Oh, there you are,
Still,
Terry.
actually, I'm still coming in, but if you have a few more minutes, are you shutting the room down? If I'm too late, I mean, I'm too late. I just
I don't know
tuned
if
in
anybody
to
wants to
listen.
do another round. Definitely love to hear some more from some people.
I'm up to
Well,
read
my
again.
poetry's really angry lately. It's not going to be uplifting, I'll tell you that right now.
I'm the wrong person to ask that question to because I have no life. So I'm here for it.
And
If we're
I'll read
doing,
again as well.
yeah, if we're gonna do another round, I'll read as well.
Okay, well, Rich, if you've got a piece ready, you can go ahead and take the reins.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to share. This is the one of the three poems um, that was published by Cul-de-sac of Blood today, and um, nothing really to say about this other than maybe you had to be there, or you need to be a certain age to for some of this to resonate, but ideally not, because it's my job to make it so that it can resonate, whether or not you are old enough to remember this or not. The poem is called "There Is No Pleading with It." I remember you could hear the thing way off in the distance across the desert, that ungodly roar of its horn. You could hear it for a while before it ever got even close to town. That sound like some turn of the century locomotive whistle, but darker in malevolent decibels, slowed down to a backwards masked howl. And then I remember that somehow, the moment you heard that mighty golem's gasp, that thing could close the distance between the horizon where it was and you where you were standing in just seconds. How can anything move like that? It just doesn't make any sense. I remember headlights that looked just like eyes, metal and real heavy lidded, sleepy almost, not angry, not raging, but implacable like. No emotion. They were headlights, but they were also the eyes of something you knew you couldn't beg for mercy from. The dead, steady stare of something you couldn't plead with. Eyes that saw you there, but also saw right through you, as if the thing was already looking for the next one down the path to die after you. And I know this thing doesn't listen to you. Same way cancer doesn't listen to medicine. Same way bad news accompanying the rain on a Friday morning doesn't listen to hope. And I remember it had a roof so low to the frame that there was just no way a man could be at the wheel of the thing. I remember the body of the dark sedan, so massive that if it was a child driving it, that child would have to have been the son or daughter of the devil. And it had a paint job so black that when you saw it at night, the feeling was you were watching something made from the black sharps and flats of a piano gliding past you. Like the only way you were sure something was really there was the way the wind and the temperature changed when it cruised by. Reflections from the streetlights glancing off of nothing at all. Deadly like raw shadow. Forever like 1977. And I remember thinking no factory could have built this thing. and no law would have ever allowed this thing to be sold and driven. You can ask me as many times as you want. I know the windows were some color between night and red, and I'm not going to change my answer. You can keep me locked up in here for another night, I don't care. I know I saw the driver's side window lower down for a second, and I know I saw no one in that car at all. You pray all you want. Me? I've seen what that thing can do.
Absolutely amazing, Rich. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you. That's really kind of you. Here's the question for folks in the room, just to see if I'm Gen X. I'm Generation Capital X. I was born in the year 1968. What movie am I talking about in that poem? I want to see if I was doing enough to recall it to mind for those old enough to remember the movie.
I don't know.
In 1977, a horror film came out, and the movie was called The Car. And it starred
Oh,
an actor called James Brolin. And you might remember James Brolin because his son is Thanos, the killer of worlds in the Marvel movies.
yes.
And
Isn't he married to Streisand?
I don't know. Maybe could be.
I think
Sure.
he is.
And that
Well,
movie, the movie was if you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch one night if you got. It's definitely worth it if you have nothing to do, and it's worth it if you have something to do but you like horror movies, and
is
it's
it a B?
especially worth it.
Is it a B horror movie?
Well, what I was gonna say was it's especially worth it if you like horror movies. Maybe you have something to do but you like cars as well. And I'm gonna answer your question, Brian, in this manner. The movie centers on a possessed Lincoln Mark sedan, and the car goes around running over people and killing them. And every time a murder takes place in the movie, the vantage point that the viewer of the movie sees is looking out at the world through a red windshield, and it's definitely a product of its time. And the auto body designer who made that car for the movie made a couple of other very famous vehicles as well. So definitely give it a look. It's called The Car.
Absolutely amazing.
Oh,
I absolutely love that.
I forgot to mention, and thank you. I'm seeing the comment about being lost like I'm watching a movie. Thank you for that. The movie begins with you know how they have, in movies, they have a plate that has writing before the film begins, some kind of cinematic epigram. And the movie begins with a black screen with white text, and it is a quote from Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible. Anton LaVey, the leader of the Satanist movement, was a kind of unacknowledged consultant on the movie. The car was not named Christine, Terry. However, Christine, I think, maybe might owe a bit of a debt to the car because I think the car came out first. But they do have that in common, that they're both cars that will kill whether or not they've been provoked.
Just like Herbie. Because we know that Herbie had a dark side that they never showed in the movies.
I'll take your word for it. I guess I'll have to look that up.
Well, it's just it's the stuff they edited out about Herbie gambling and whoring and everything else when nobody else was around. That's why they call him the love bug.
Okay, on that note, I actually have and I paid a pretty penny for this. I have a um, perfect replica of the car in my studio in here. So I'm going to get off camera for a second so I can bring it to the camera so you can see the car because it's exactly like what was in the film. And just bear in mind as you look at it, there's a scene in the movie that's worth watching the movie just to see it, where people are running for shelter and they go into a cemetery, and there is a crucifix over the entrance to the cemetery, and the car will not enter the cemetery. Let me go get that car for you.
So I had to look it up, and yeah, I was like, wait a minute, do I know this movie? It's like, no, it's Christine that I saw. I was a little bit too young for that movie, apparently, when it came out. Although I am 4 years older than Rich, apparently. And yeah, it was 77 it came out. And
Yeah,
yes, James Brolin is married to, apparently still married to Barbara Streisand.
yeah. The movie. I actually saw Christine way after it was released. I didn't see it contemporary to its cinematic release. I do think the car is a better movie, but that's just because I like the car. So I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to bring this to the camera here. Here we go. Okay.
Okay.
And as you can see, the headlights look like eyes. And this is a very heavy, heavy replica of the car. It actually weighs probably about maybe 7 pounds.
Cool.
And you can see that the body has been chopped so that the roof is very low to the rest of the body of the car. So there you go.
It's actually a pretty cool car.
Cool.
Is that a Cadillac?
No, it's a I believe
Lincoln?
it is, yeah, it's a Lincoln Mark III.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I actually drove one of those.
Oh, really? You
The one
drove a
I
Lincoln
drove was
Mark III?
white,
Wow.
and then
That
the
is,
radiator died in the alleyway over here, and I it just stopped.
well, they did this. They when they did the shop and they did this, the designer, his name is it's his last name is Barris. He's a car guy, and they only had made a couple of these. One of them exists in a collector. It's in a collector's garage, I think, in England somewhere. But they just performed a hell of a surgery on this car to give it the look it gave, especially with the low body, tons of ballast in the trunk. And once you see the movie and you hear what that horn sounds like, you'll know really on a first-hand basis the reason I was moved to write the poem, because the horn itself is terrifying. I've often wanted to have that installed in any car I drive, so when I'm on the highway, I can just hit that horn and make people have a heart attack right in front of me.
I love it, Rich. Thank you so much. Terry, do you have something for us?
Yeah, probably.
All
So
right, let's do it.
I've been working on a lot of different things all at once, so it's kind of like a whole bunch of unfinished stuff. But I don't know. Some of it might be closer to being finished than others. All right, where were we? Let's look at this one. These are refrigerator poems that are haikus, because I decided I want to do like a chapbook of refrigerator poems. And I thought maybe I might make it more towards kids, but I don't know. Some of the language in here needs to be changed. For now, this is what I got to start. Cow's milk is for calves. Lactose intolerant me was never breastfed. Ketchup on Whole Foods. Hamburgers, hot dogs, French fries. Tomato topping. This is about vinegar. Rancid on my tongue, given to Jesus on cross, did not quench his thirst. Turned water to wine, miracles for his mother, the best saved till last. Water quenches thirst. Microplastic pollution, purification. Maple syrup rules, not that fake shit corn syrup. Poisonous sugar. No more eggs priced out of market, have to raise chickens. Lemons, my fave fruit. Make lemonade out of life. Fresh scent. So that's what I got so far for my haikus. I took a break from being angry when I wrote those because I've been really so freaking pissed off. I really feel like I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. So I'll read you the poem that I kind of wrote while I was having my nervous breakdown. It's called Am I Not a Woman? Am I not a woman? You say the words, run poison in your mouth, making a law reprehensible to speak it. Then call me a murderer as I proclaim, woman, 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 to the offended by her existence. You have not earned your place here. I command you to die in the name of improving society. Poison runs through your veins anyway, if you have them. If you have a spine, you need to grow one. Woman, woman, woman will be raid to your insect-sized brain. Go unalive yourself. For if you were not born from the collective womb, then where did you spawn from? Why do men have nipples? Those who know accept it. Those who don't could be a part of a failed science experiment called back to Hitler, messing around with gene pools, trying to clone the perfect specimen, taking on the role of God. She will answer the question. She answered the question. She will assure you she already answered the question. She created perfection. God is every woman. Should I read one more?
Sure, let's hear it.
This one's a little less angry, but still about some actual thing that happened. I did not grow up the kind of woman men wanted to love, or at least that's what I thought. I did not resemble the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, paled, or tanned California dreaming, skinny but curvy in the right place, womanly bodies. My girl, flat-chested, curly, frizzy hair, slumped shoulders, afraid for you to look at me or anybody, face burning red with embarrassment, sweaty pits no deodorant ever made to stop it, stuttering voice saying the wrong thing, making a fool out of myself, walking in the wrong place at the wrong time, told never to talk to strangers, and I didn't, too scared, told to be made to feel I had nothing to offer until the one day when Joey talked to me. He said, do you want to go study? Face better, wait, face burning, reddened. I can't understand what the hell I meant there. It's all messed up. Face reddened, burning, said, okay, rings on every finger, chestnut brown puppy, dog eyes, black eyelashes longer than mine. He was mine until he asked for the rings back. Heard it was a sixth grade joke that he spoke those words. It was a bet that he could get me to agree to be his girl. Anger burned and tear-stained cheek evaporated off hot, steamy flesh. I should have known, but how was this cruel joke even funny? The girl he really wanted to go out with was my friend, Gail, a dark-haired, curly. I have hair 2 times in there. This poem needs revision. Dark-haired, curly girl, dark-eyed beauty, who was also in a girl-shaped body. She seemed to feel sorry for me, as the very next day, all the rings appeared on her fingers. So some of these are still, I need to go in there and revise some stuff.
Still beautiful though, Terry. And we love you here. And I agree, there's something going on in the air right now. Like energies are like I know I've been in kind of a weird space myself. Like a lot of emotions coming to the surface here lately. But yeah, everybody unmute and give it up to Terry. And we're gonna go lightning round style here and just switch it all up.
Good job, Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Are we going
Bill
again?
Elkins, do you have anything else you want to share tonight?
Sorry, I didn't hear. Who was that?
Bill? Oh, Bill might be gone. How about Black Salt? Black Salt, you wanna share anything?
Yes, I will share. And I'll take this time. Do you mind if I do 2 poems?
The floor is yours. Do as many as you'd like.
I don't mind.
Okay, thank you for having me. I will share with you a poem that some digital art, a poem with a little bit of background and ambience that I have on my YouTube channel. Give me a second to pull that up. But before that, I want to just read a regular poem. So I'll do the regular poems and I'll share with you the artwork. But give me one quick second to pull up my channel before I read the poem. So it's just a smooth transaction. Okay, sorry. I really should have had that up. I wasn't thinking. I'm sitting here bullshitting around. But I'll start out with this with the regular poem that I was going to read. This piece is called Black Rotten Part 2, Megaphone and the Exorcism. You hear me? My mic is kind of far away. Can you hear me okay? Not too loud, not too quiet. Okay, I see Rich kind of nodding his head, so I'm going to take that as green light. So here we go. It's called Black Rotten Part 2, Megaphone and the Exorcism. You never think it could happen to you till it does. Ever wake up on the wrong side of self-sabotage and think, what if I'm not actually doing anything wrong? What if there's some unforeseen, unholy, invisible force that's angrily pacing on a cloud and looking down on me as a punching bag? And with each blow, my dignity, mental health, and self-respect become non-existent. Ever think you're possessed by the archdemoness of rotten luck and need some kind of exorcism, but you just don't know where to go? Yeah, me too. Maybe we can help each other out. You see, I'm just enough of a nerd to know that if you multiply 2 negatives together, you get a positive result. Maybe this is ignorance, but perhaps if we form a trauma bond strong enough, I'll be able to see the light again. But it's like, who gave the devil a megaphone and a bank loan? I want to believe it gets better, but it only gets worse. I want to believe the good things people say, but it's contradictory to the dark, rotten sermon preaching the gospel of negativity in my head. Jesus, Buddha, Shiva, and Saint Bridget, save my black, rotten mind and smash that damn megaphone the Prince of Negativity has been using on me for years. And call in his damn loan. You know damn well the devil don't pay anything back. Let this rotten poem be an exorcism. Amen. Amen Ra, Hathor, Horus, Anubis, Thoth, and Sekhmet. Even if Amit, the Kemetic devourer of souls, has a snack today, even if I have to do something weird to dig up my faith from a tomb long forgotten, I will reclaim my peace somehow. And that is Black Rotten Part 2, Megaphone and the Exorcism. And so that is actually a sequel to the original Black Rotten. So that's yeah, heavy stuff, but I gotta say it. I gotta say it because that's how I feel sometimes. And so I'll share with you this some art that I made. Oh, sharing is not turned on. You mind if I share a song?
Sure.
Yeah, the share screen feature is not working. I can't do anything.
Oh, well, now.
Let me see. Okay, yeah. Make sure I hit share sound. And let's go here. Share. And that poem was kind of long, so I might cut the some of this short a little bit, but this is kind of an ode to one of the dark goddesses that I kind of have this little obsession with, Hashihime. She's a Japanese goddess, and she haunts bridges, and she's known as the Bridge Princess. And I kind of darkly and sardonically refer to her as the Rotten Princess, because of her kind of dark nature. And so this is kind of a piece of work that I've kind of done, created, dedicated to her. And so I hope you like it. Shit, I need headphones. Ugh. 1 second. Need to let me plug into the matrix right so this goes right. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna play this. Hope you guys like it. Let me know if you can hear it okay.
Cross the bridge and pay the toll, caught in the crosswinds of an immortal god, the rotten princess of royal blood. Don't say I didn't warn you. Cross the bridge, I double dare you. It's not as simple as you think. 21 days by the river bank. Cross the bridge to reach the shrine. Cross the bridge, revenge is mine. Cross the bridge if you're not scared. Cross the bridge and face your fears. Yield to thee in tranquil red mordant and feel the pain of my betrayal. You will know I am the rotten princess, the weaver of romance, broken hearts, brotherhood and blood trails. Yield to the water of a weeping woman. I demand your love and damn your mind. Cross the bridge. You're running out of time. Love is a foolish thing, but I still want you by my side. Behold, I am the storyteller's burden, and I'm here for the gods, and I fight for true love against all odds. Listen well, let me tell you a tale of a rotten princess whose plans had failed. Nonetheless, her heart floated and did not sink, for she became immortal after 21 days by the river bank.
So I'm gonna cut this 30 seconds short because that first poem I did was kind of long, but that's what I got for you tonight. This is my public YouTube channel. Check it out. You know, make sure you hit all the buttons, and that's what I got for tonight.
Man, well done. I really love how you're putting those beats behind your spoken word too. Um, it just adds to the story, you know, it kind of brings you in and tumbles you through the story. You know, I just I love it. It's something I've been working on with some of my musician friends. They
Yeah.
keep sending me recording tracks that they make, and
You know,
um,
it's a free app that I'm using called BandLab, and I don't even pay for it. That's the crazy thing about that is I don't even pay for this shit. Like I just kind of like wiggle, kind of like I just kind of wiggle between the wiggle room of the free stuff that you can get. And I'll tell you my awful secret. You do not necessarily have to be a master master musician to do what I do. My awful secret is the only thing I recorded in that track is my voice, just me speaking. The rest is just electronic
right.
shamalama ding dong, putting pre-recorded loops together that I just kind of
Hmm.
mix together, you know, and stuff. I do have some tracks that it gets a little bit more complicated than me actually playing my guitar, you know, but
Yeah,
that's just but you can do a lot with that stuff, you know.
I'll have
Check
to
that out,
check it out.
BandLab.
I'll have to check it out. A lot of my friends have they have a I can't remember the name of the program they use. But then they plug in and they'll add the keys, they'll add horns, they'll, you know, they'll add
Of course,
their own
yeah,
layers on top of the beats that they create initially to get going, you know.
yeah.
And it's amazing to go over to their studio and just kind of see the process of how they create. Um, you know, it's beautiful. I love all creation, whether it's art, spoken word, music, you know, physical art, um, the people that twirl the flamethrowers and stuff like that, all of it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
not for everybody, you know. Everybody doesn't have to be like me, but but some people are just geared towards certain things, and that's just one of the things that I'm geared towards. You know, I just have that third ear where I just hear the music and I
mhm.
just make it, you know. But I believe in you, John. If that's something you're interested, I believe in you that you could do something like that, you know, if you put your mind to
Yeah,
it.
no, I'll definitely have to check that out. Because it's something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes when I'm writing, I kind of have this melodic melody going on inside my head. Like I
Hey, you
told
already got it. You got the voice in your head, then you're
yeah,
that's half the battle right there. Just that little voice in your head. That's half the work right there.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You know, just a matter of getting it out.
Is Generalissimo still in here? I know he wanted to go next.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
I'm here.
sir.
Mr.
All
Black
right.
Salt. So when you did the Shamalama Ding Dong, did you add a
Yeah.
little ooh mau mau with it? Oh,
Does
you
that
don't
add
know
a
that
lot
one.
of ooh la mouth?
Ooh mau
uh
mau. When Otis Day of the Night sang Shamalama Ding Dong, the after he said Shamalama Ding Dong, he goes ooh mau mau. I'm sorry, I just
uh I don't know what that is, but I did do a little echo on my voice. I did add a little bit of echo and special effects with my voice, you know, with the echo, you know. So
okay. That's okay. That's just something that Otis Day and the Knights when they sang Shamalama Ding Dong, after he said Shamalama Ding Dong, he said ooh mau mau.
okay. I
Yeah.
did.
And I just want to say, I'm mad that Paul Skiff is not here because I forgot to ask him if he ever stepped in dog shit in an elevator because that really got to me when he said that. So
Okay.
I have to find out if there's a story behind that one too.
I don't know the origins of that word, shamalama ding dong. I just
It
hear
was
other
a
people
song
say
by
it.
Otis Day. It was a song by Otis Day and the Knights that was in Animal House.
Okay, I just hear other people saying the word, and it just
Hmm.
kind of sounds like a reference to just like just kind of Yeah, I feel like I have it's as I understand it, it's kind of like just something you do, like just some kind of modality you engage in that's may not be understood by everybody if you like really try to explain it, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so where was I? So this is and the Oscar for the best monster in a nervous breakdown. For years, I had a secret roommate, a monster. It never hid in the closet or under the bed. It only went into the closet to retrieve an old pair of tap shoes, to do a little Savion Glover on my bald spot and remind me migraine was its middle name. It was born of brain DNA. It rose up like Godzilla over Tokyo Bay, arms overhead, lethal talons aimed at happiness, razor sharp teeth smiling, proclaiming, "The smile belongs to you. If you want it back, you have to take it back." Monsters are not reality. They are figments of our imaginations, but they are reality to those they stalk through bedroom ceilings and bathroom mirrors. My monster was my roommate for 18 years and 8 residences. It held the keys to my hermit's cave, was a tyrannical warden declaring martial law, outlawing trust, fulfillment, and self-esteem. I worshiped the ground it walked on, ingrained its gospel into my consciousness, and ceased to believe all I held holy. But bits and pieces of my existence withered away into an oblivion that treated me like leftovers shoved into a garbage disposal. The monster painstakingly scraped every nook and cranny of my identity. It reveled in a gas gauge on empty, running on emotional fumes and broken memories. The irony of realizing you are a shell of a human being is that the empty can be refilled, and the owner of the shell chooses what refills it. A new me I get to build from scratch, and an occasional box of Jiffy cornbread mix. Then one day, Godzilla realized it was only a monster, a figment of someone's imagination. It cattle branded anxiety on its chest and tattooed depression across its forehead. But I knew it was just a monster, a fiction of my imagination. My memories could be whole again. I rebuilt my identity with leftover pieces of the past, sunshine, a sprinkling of optimism, and 2 feet firmly planted on higher ground. I looked myself in the eyes and found faith in humanity, trust, and self-esteem. Monsters never die. They mellow with age. Mine retired early, bought a Cadillac, and now lives in a high-rise condo in Boca. It still visits, it still owns those tap shoes, but I have learned to tap dance back. I woke up one day, got out of bed, walked outside barefoot to dewy grass and rays of hope, reached high in the air, and took my smile back. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful, General Lee Smith. Thank you so much.
I want to say that to my book, Everything I Think Is on My Mind, and I want to dedicate that to my friend Terry Rose Jerson.
Everybody
Thanks,
unmute and
Brian.
give it on up.
Thank you for sharing the work.
Well, up next, Martin Parker. Park William, do you have some words for us?
Sure. Thanks again here, everyone. Another recently written piece. I don't really have a title for yet. My mother's voice is with me still. The messages she left were always short and to the point, but with subtle hints of motherly concern for my welfare and health. I tried to call her once a month these last few years as she declined, though seldom could she hear my voice, her hearing aids not helping at all. Yet still the emotions she found hard to reveal sustain me through this day. And thank you very much for getting ready to go to her memorial service this coming weekend.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you very much. And my blessings are always with you and your family.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. I seen Deep Doc come into the room. Deep, would you like to share any pieces with us?
Yeah, I could share some tonight.
All right. Well, if you're ready, you can go next, or if anybody else wants to go while you're looking for a piece, it's up to
No,
you, sir.
I'm ready. I can go.
Okay.
All
Take it
right.
away when you go.
Hold on, give me 1 sec. I had to stop an impending call. When you know it's coming, you gotta shut it down. Shut it down. Okay, so this is called Karma Kisses. Pulling into this parking spot, I found myself only being equipped with faith on my journey. The air spoke clarity and the wind lowered enough to hear mountain messages. I can only think of your kisses, so I call you. I don't desire to walk this past alone, so I coat my insecurities with your smile. The way your eyes admire me assure safety. The path is thick with fresh snow and decreasing footprints, discussions with strangers in hopes that their directions would provide perspective. I've tied my destiny to this journey in disregard of what lie ahead. The sun applies cloudy sky makeup to its face. The light is gray like indecisiveness. My lungs are sucking down icy winds. It feels like shards cutting into my oxygen pathways. It burns like my thighs as this path seems to bear no ends. Before long, it's my sweating on the inside, but freezing on the out. My underestimation of the elements waiting have given way to elements of panic. My breaths shorten. My fingers have lost feelings and darkness can be heard from mountains nearby. My body feels rapid draining of energy. I can smell death in the pathways where my footprints are becoming flat canvas. For a moment, I'm unsure if the swelling in my fingers would give way to frostbite or will I regain feeling. For a moment, I forget which path I traveled in my ascent. I was a magnet for punishment. God, is this where it ends? Where my life reaches a peak and hopefully one day somebody will make it back here and find me, blowing warm air on my hands for 10 minutes before feeling returns. I've bared my skin to winter's finest. Time freezes, and I see purpose. I've been in these conditions since birth, but lost sight, and now I can feel my spirit interlock hands with my physical being. For the first time, I felt invincible, and it was so. Tree embraces and drinking from the sky's frost crystals, leaping into the sky as the mountain peaks catch me as naked as the moon is bare. There were areas where I took flight with no intent to give it back. I felt renewal surging inside me like chakra energy rolling in the deep, higher than the depth in the sea, one thought at a time, karma kissing me all the time, but the journey would not reach peaks if not for tragedy. Heavenly hands reaching out to me. It's like a toddler learning to walk. She's with me every step of the way, and at this pace, I would surely believe myself to pause time. I parted snow like the Red Sea. I weaved my locks through the flakes. I allowed the ground to embrace me, and it felt like home. It felt like if I died here, then my life will have served its purpose. And don't we hope to find meaning in death? My soul is solitary confinement, but our stories shorten as time goes on. For the first time since suicidal tendencies, I felt death whispering songs in my ear. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me. I'm already home. I slice through paths nearly drowning in the cold of winter. The snow knee deep and getting deeper, the skylight dims in real time, surrounded by clouds like heaven, the flurries, spellbound to my body. I stop in the pits of my fiery lungs and be steadfast, be immovable, always excelling in the work of the Lord, being continually aware that your labor in the Lord is not futile nor wasted. My body espoused with elevation. I was once star seed shooting down these paths, but I am now of light. And in a moment where death and I conversed about mystery, I became complete. The journey of something divine.
Oh, deep. I absolutely love your work. Just like I was talking about Rich's work earlier, the visual painting that you create where you can take somebody into the journey and automatically transmute that feeling, the emotion. Um, I felt like I was in that story you were just telling. Um, and that was absolutely incredible. Um, like Rich said in the comments, your work is extremely strong, and your performance is always on point as well. So thank you very much. Do you have a second piece you want to share with us tonight?
Sure.
Bring it, brother. Love to hear your work. Honored to have you here in the room with us again tonight.
Yeah, no, thanks for hosting this. I haven't really been doing lives much because I had some in-person features, and when I do those, I usually kind of shut down everything else to, stay focused on that. And so yeah, I'm just starting to get back into sharing a bit here. So
Well, you're always welcome here.
we'll do this one. This is my math poem. This is called By the Numbers. In long division, we carry numbers. This divided by that and carry the one, it all comes down to the numbers, if you're paying attention. The addition of fractions could cut you down to size. Decimals point you to the parts of you that aren't quite whole, but they're forming something. And there's not enough quantitative reasoning to determine the statistics or probabilities that have you spiraling down into lunacy. He saw demon eyes coming from the good side, and inquiring minds would lead you to believe that the info isn't significant enough. That's not enough variables here that could get you out of your word problems too easy. We never get to a solution cleanly. It's a process of backtracks to the paragraphs with your lifeline displayed on screens like video games. You're losing blood by the percentage, and your lack of vision had you carrying the two when you needed to focus on one exponent. Yes, you, the pinnacle of imaginary numbers, because you're difficult. Most days you barely exist and are always open when ready to shove your Pythagorean theorem into every temporary serum. You can't seem to get out of your own way. And when the numbers don't add up, you turn to a calculator and start just pressing buttons, hoping to find answers that match up with the work you've done. But you're a fool. And we scoped you from the beginning. That's why you get used. This shit ain't calculus, it's geometry. And you're shaped like every point you're trying to prove. You're scared to accept that and move through make your life useful. And if you ain't improved, get rid of that shit that you're used to. Otherwise, you gonna die here. And it'll be well deserved for stepping into the street knowing damn well you never should have left that curb. 1 life, 2 knives, that's 3 times 6 blades. You could rule nights, that's legal age in America, unless you're facing trial, that's -5, and you die realizing you're left with 13 reasons why they orchestrated your downfall without knowing the interest. You contribute to their personal loan of you, bank on it, that we are taking every number you possess. And when there's nothing left, because you didn't do the math right, you'll be left with absolutely nothing to carry over.
That was absolutely amazing, Deep. Thank you so much. Um, Everybody unmute and give it up a deep thought.
Math poem. I'm horrible at math, so I
Yeah, let's
appreciate
go
a good
deep
math
thought.
poem.
Good to hear you, and thank you for sharing your work. I appreciate it.
Thank you for all the love and feedback and comments. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, John Michael. Thank you, Open Minds. This is a good space. I enjoy being here.
I appreciate that, Deep, and thank you. Up next, Rich, you have another piece for us? Or two?
I do actually. I have a poem that was published in a magazine called Pulp. I'm going to put the link for that publication in the chat. The poem I'm going to read happens to be the very second poem in the publication. If you click on that link, it'll take you to a slide PDF of the issue. And it's called So Sorry Is About the Wait. I always tend to like to dedicate this to anybody else who has served years in the retail customer service trenches. And that's because it is a war. And this poem is called So Sorry About the Wait. We're sorry about the wait for your meal. It's hard to express how sorry we are about the wait. In 1,000 lifetimes, we could never convey the depth of our sorrow about the wait that you have had to endure for your burger meal. We are so sorry that you have had to wait for us to finish helping another customer before helping you. Please understand that while there is nothing that we can do about that, if we could, we would be very happy to take our own lives so that you can be happy and have your burger meal a little faster. It's taking a bit longer to make your fries, and so we are very, very sorry about the wait. It's unbelievable how sorry we are. In fact, we wonder if we have any right to live at all. In fact, we might actually take our own lives tonight after work because of how long you have had to wait for your meal. Maybe take a cyanide pastel and bite down with our teeth so that foam comes out of our mouths, just like in the movies. Maybe we'll just shut the window over our neck in the drive-thru so that you can see how serious we are about your satisfaction as a customer. We are so very, very sorry about the wait. We don't know what to do. We thought there was a God. Christ on a crutch. We thought there was a whole meaning to this life, but after you mentioned how long you've had to wait for this burger meal with that tone in your voice, we wonder if anything makes sense at all anymore. How much does a spool of piano wire cost? We're just wondering. We mean, what sense is there in happiness or love or faith or devotion when you, the customer, have had to wait an additional 3 minutes so that your fries can be fresh for your meal? We are so very, very sorry. Would you like to hurt us? Would you like to hit us in our faces? Would you like to penetrate us with an object? It's incredible how sorry we are. Fuck. We just came to the thought of that. Maybe life's a B-grade horror movie. Maybe life is just a full, empty satire about the fullness and emptiness of life. We just don't know anymore. And the reason we don't know anymore is because you mentioned how angry you were about having to wait a little longer for your burger meal. That tone you used. Well, we are sorry about the wait. We are also sorry for the wait. We said we were sorry. What else can we do for you? Would you like it if we died for you? In response to your frustration with the wait and the wait, we have already ordered some razor blades from Amazon, and we have a bathtub back here in which we can empty ourselves using those razors if you would like, since your burger meal took a little longer than you wanted to be waiting for. Please pull up to the next window. Please have your money ready. Please, we have kids. Please, we have a family. Please don't hurt our families. Thanks.
Absolutely amazing, Rich. Do you have one more you'd like to share with us?
Sure. Let's see. All right, yeah, I do actually. So, and this one, let me go to, yeah, I have it here actually. So, I don't know if you know a poet called Matt Wall. He's out of California, and he publishes a magazine called Blood Rag, or The Blood Rag. And this just got published. It was the March 2025 edition. And the poem is called The End of the World Before the End of the World. And here's the poem. And if you recognize the personality mentioned in my poem, I will say congratulations, or shame on you, or right. Those are the things I would say. The price of eggs can't be gold, except that they are, and it is. My downstairs neighbor is drinking early again, and it sounds like she's got a gentleman visitor. She's got a Trump bumper sticker on her SUV, and her moans sound like a tightening of our borders. I cut my thumb on a shopping cart, and I am transported by my own blood into a fantasy land in high-res 4K definition. Brianna Beach calls me son in the adult video. I call her mom. And from far off and remote heaven, I can see that my grandfather is proud of me. Thanks. Also, yeah, it's an odd one, and if you know, I should say maybe you shouldn't know who she is, but it's fun. I'll also, gosh, thank you. I'm gonna put another link in the chat for folks. That link that I'm gonna put it's the link to a record that I have recorded and mixed with a great Kansas poet. If any of you know Davy Nickel, Davy and I did a project together. It's an album of all of Davy's poems. And what I did was I created the soundscapes and the arranging and mixing of this album. So my work is the amplification via music. Some of the music that I actually made, and some of it is derived from a collage of sampling all of it to augment and focus on the potency of Davies' poetry. It's a Bandcamp record. It's just $5 for the whole record. There's 8 tracks, and they're all incredibly diverse. And the album is called Raw Honey and Risky Smoke. And I'm going to put that link in the chat now.
Yeah, please do. I'd love to take a listen to it.
There you go. It's right there in the link now. And again, just a $5 bills. So 500 cents will get you that record. And I'm really, really proud to have done this with Davey. Davey is amazing. And that's whose poetry you'll hear on that record. My part is actually, I do have this one poem of Davey's on there where I do backing vocals. So we have that as well. Thanks.
Amazing. I'll have to check out his work as well. Do you have a link for him?
Davey, they go by, I almost said she, I gotta get it right. Davey, yes, I have Davey's, so the first link I just put in there, John, is the link to the album that we did. But if you just navigate to Davey Nicole .bandcamp.com,
okay,
it'll take you to the main page. Davey has one item on there besides the album that we did together. So you would be hearing one poem. It's a really good poem. It's called Prairie Fisting. And then there's the record that we did together. Well worth a visit for sure.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to checking it out. And thank you for coming on here tonight, Rich. Your work is wonderful, and it does take you on a visual ride. And I really appreciate everything that you're doing, and look forward to hearing some more of your work.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm very grateful to any of the editors who have been giving my work lately some permanent homes. That's a great feeling, obviously, but it's nice to also be able to point people in the direction of that. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you.
Y'all on mute and give it on up for Rich.
And you're very classy, Rich. You're very classy. I like that about you. I like your classiness.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Are you specifically referring to, is there one thing that makes you use the word classy and specifically?
The way you speak is very like professional, like the way you speak is like kind of how I would imagine like a boss or a manager kind of like speaking like a little bit slower, clearer, enunciate, I can enunciate if I'm using that word, right? Enunciate, properly, kind of like, clearly, and you dress, and the way you dress, like you're always in like a suit and tie, and it's very classy, and and really when it comes down to it, it's not really something I can put my finger on, you're just classy.
I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. There's I think really it's really key for people to be putting their best foot forward, because, and I have my own policy about live performances and visual performances like this. You only ever get one chance to make a first impression. You can't do that ever over again. So
I really like that and the way you speak, sir. That's really cool. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You should run a podcast or something. I'd totally fall asleep to your voice. Like, I don't mean any disrespect by that. You've just got a really good voice, and I appreciate that, man.
Very what is it? What is that word? Narrator.
Narrative. It's a very narrative voice you've got. There we go.
I like.
Thank you very much. I've done some voiceover work, not a lot, just a couple of things that were in company for places I've been employed by, like instructional videos, things like that.
Right.
And I appreciate it.
Rich Boucher. Okay, I'll remember your name and I'll be looking through the credits for the upcoming stuff because I'm sure you'll be killing it.
Well, thank you. I'll actually put something here in the chat for you too. I'm going to put in the chat. Here we go. This is going to be a link to my Instagram page, but it's also a link to my own Bandcamp page. I have many tracks on there you can listen to that are a separate stream from what I write and publish. They're just different works. There is a link to my book, which you can get on Amazon, and my email address is there as well. So there's a lot there in the links, and I just put that in there for you. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Rich. Kevin, do you have anything for us tonight?
Yeah, I got a couple things I could share.
Yeah,
I'll
bring it.
have me and myself and Boo were out having a little nighttime fire right now. We're out camping in the middle of the woods, so figured might as well share something good. Let's see. Okay. The ones that I'd like to share, I might actually read off of my notes app instead of my book. I do have my book right here, but I will I'm going to do a notes app instead because I've got some good stuff there. Here. Darling, is it okay if I do this one?
You go.
This one's for you, so I just want to make sure. Okay. I call this one My Queen. Your soft lips, your curvy hips, a whole world I'd move to once again kiss. Your beautiful brown-green eyes, no others would come close in comparison. A gorgeous, complex story with no possible summarization. Your book I wish to read, and to every one of your calls I will heed, for I am caught in an unrelenting need for your companionship and company. Greed is unending for your uplifting attention's blessing. I love all of you, from the way you shit-talk your pretty knees to the way you say scream bees, and each second you count by in thirds for the simple chance to look at some birds. I wish for a life of peace with you, to sit back on our porch someday and appreciate the sunset's hue. I make mistakes that upset you, that's true, but I am truly hurt each time I hurt you. I will try to fix my mistakes so my stoned apathy dissipates. It's not that I hate the things you say, a good way I just can't find to conversate. For you don't truly have to say anything to me. I am starstruck each time your face is seen. But I know conversation is what you'd like, so please tell me as my brain begins to hike away and slay my ability to portray just how much I love you and each word you say. I'd move mountains for you, my love. Creepy guys at night I'd shove, instead of saying, oh damn, over the phone, as if caring nothing of. I am truly sorry with the ways I make you feel, for I know older wounds have yet to have healed. I feel as if I peel back on scabs, blood gushing forth from a once again unsealed wound. I'm stuck in tune to your voice. I'd change it back to mine if I had the choice, but I'd rather listen and watch your eyes glisten at the thought of your days rejoice. You make me feel as if I'm a king and you my crown. Adversaries may try to take you from me. They are free to try, but I'd bring this countryside down. My rage never ending, a ferocity never before seen, at the thought of you taken from me, my beautiful crown, my queen. The weeks you get to spend with me playing house, keeping it clean, I remain so indebted to you, my queen. For you hurt me, but in a good way, to not overdo it on the green and slip away once again into a dream. You've accepted me at my worst, rejoiced with me at my best. Each workday spent thinking of resting my head at your breast. For my mind grows far quieter with you, my dear. And when you are gone, I am riddled with fear, beating at times ugly chest, begging her to again let you near. Each time we finish making love, my mind never diminishes the way you look at me. Oh, how right now with you I wish I could be. The thought of the distance between us fills me with uncertainty at just how quick I'll return to my queen. Out of 8 billion faces, 1,000,000 times, I'd pick yours. At your adorable face and pretty eyes, I'm floored with just how lucky of a position I have scored. I've lived life and have bored through a sea of loneliness to get to you, my gorgeous girl. For now, I'll light up a smoke, sitting with my coworkers, cracking jokes, and bide my time until you're mine once again. For an existence without you is bleak, it's true, but to appreciate the time we get is what we are meant to do. So worry not, my darling girl. There will come a time where I can hurl all of my responsibilities aside and be yours until the end of time. I'll always be there to turn your frown upside down, my beautiful queen with a beautiful crown. End poem.
Thank you.
Absolutely sweet, Kevin. I love that.
I appreciate it. I've got, let me see, I can probably do one or two others if you guys got time for me.
Yeah, we got all the time in the world.
Beauty. Okay, let's see. Which one should I do? Stone chips?
Stone chips, yeah. And then maybe regression after. Because that was a really good
You want me to do 3? Okay. I might do a couple more, if that's perfectly okay. This first one I've got is called Stone Chips. Lost in lust amidst the dawn. What trust must I give? What have I drawn? My father's bones lay beneath this land, and to this land I owe my hand, for it has taught me everything I know. Laying low amidst a tirade of survival and last night on earth revivals. I'll try to plan for you, my love, but to this land I am bound as I glove up and prepare for more labor in the cold mornings. But my worry never relents as I'm so hard stuck in past tense that my vision of the future is cloudy, no decisions made proudly. I can't diminish your finished plan to leave this place behind to better places you wish to have ran. But I feel stuck, as if knee-deep in muck at the thought of leaving the life I've struggled for behind. What huddled more under this white lie of safety and bliss is the simple fear for a mother's heart to wisp. For similar ways she did part from her own family, running for freedom and peace and the chances to revel in amnesty. I have much less and much more to run from, my love, but I will not be so bullheaded as to end it all thereof. I am here to work with you moving forward, and I'll never intentionally make you feel cornered. You are a beautiful being, you fill me with joy, and I couldn't bear to destroy the amazing connection we've been feeling. Your dislike towards this place is mixed up and mistargeted at my face. I know this is not the case, but in your fleeting race to go back to your base, back to where you feel safe, I tend to mistake it for hate. My fate feels sealed to this place. I'd like to spend my days across the pond where my memories remain fond, where all my troubles forgotten, gone. If you always think happiness is somewhere else, it'll never be where you are. The thought of going so far to find a life I haven't even started. I like BC, but our time has since parted. You speak so highly of the BC skies, but haven't experienced the nights and days and gries under the Albertan stars. I've learned I can go as far over the prairie to make myself merry when the thoughts of my past arise. What must I do in a land unknown to me? I do wish to be free, but I'm bound to debts I've woven myself into unknowingly. I've dug harder and have tried to mold my life to yours more than any other. The thought of leaving just makes me think of my beautiful mother. The look of sadness on her face I know all too well, for together we've seen madness and the meaning of true hell. All these thoughts aren't guilt trips, only reasoning for the words that escape my lips. I do not mean to make a big deal of what's spoken. I do wish to be in the mountains with you token. I just need time to adjust and to discuss how we may operate before we fill each other with disgust and miscommunication proliferates. For that is the death of all relationships. Done something without discussing, at the precious stone it chips. Slowly, slowly getting closer, our sharp edges burrow in, blood spilling over, and now more hurt we are in. All round my sharp edges for you, my dear. I don't want this poem to fill you with fear. I simply must write to fight the backflips as my mind trips over the thoughts of confusion with what to do with my life. For I truly don't know what I want, and I fear I'll become an idiot savant. But you make me want to do more, not for myself, but for our benefit score. I love you, but I need you to not feel weighed down by me. I don't want these doubts to take away your chance to be free. You once told me you'd stay, not wanting to leave, but at the end of the day, as long as we still breathe, I breathe for you, my dear. Time is a construct and eternity is unclear, but as long as I remain your beautiful boy, the one who I can fill you with joy, who I'll return to no matter where, will always be with you wherever you are, my sweet, beautiful star. End poem.
I love that one.
Thank you. Thank you. This
That
one's a
was
little
good.
more about myself, if you guys are okay with it. I've got one more, and then I'll leave you guys to it. Oh no, my
Yeah.
phone's dying. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm out in the woods. Shit.
We'll go charge it. Don't worry.
Okay. Have a good night, you guys. I'm so sorry.
You're good, Kevin. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
And I think Kevin's gone. Terry or Deep, would you guys like to read one more or
I'm here. Yeah, I could.
okay, let's hear it. I'm here for it, Terry.
Okay. What's this piece? Being the firstborn in my family gave me no extra privileges because I was the practice baby that they were still getting everything wrong with. By the time my sister came around, their hands and belts were already worn out. You're welcome, sis. My lying tongue was found out more often than not, sneaking back into the household, sliding under the garage door as not to wake them, alert them when it was after curfew. When I tried to exercise any privilege, it was quickly taken away, paving the way for our future, which is here today. Like when, after the election results were in, and the poet friend from China begins her set by saying she didn't know what everybody was complaining about and that she was already used to it, giving pause to ponder everything that Americans have the right to fight for could be taken away in an instant by the current and future leaders and called a privilege. Are they entitled? And I have another woke poem. All my poems are woke poems. So I know in the past you seemed really interested in what I had to offer as a woman artist in a sea of other artists, drowning in my ABCs of poetry. But now I only get one sentence because I know you have heard it all before. And I better make that half of a second of your attention count and encompass every valuable thing I have ever done in my entire life to prove I am worth talking to. Because you will surely walk away before I'm even done speaking it. Should I be grateful for that half a second? Would you even remember what I said? This is a good argument for remaining silent. Yet what kind of poet would I be then? Years spent too afraid to speak, risk a rebuke from parent or priest, tongue sore from biting and bleeding from the inside out? Too bad if you don't want to hear what I have to say now. America becoming repressed again? Country our kids spent too many years hiding away in their room playing video games? One of the best things about getting older in a country that worships youth is giving zero fucks about what others think of me. Not looking to win a following on IG, This country has its good points as well as bad. Book banning, word banning, intolerance, racism, sexism, patriarchy were on the political ticket this year. The politics of Hitler seem to reappear. This should make people nervous, unless they keep denying history, or think playing it on repeat will result in something other than insanity. I know the thing to do is buy a gun, just in case you need to use it. It's our right, right? How could this possibly go left?
Terry, thank you so much. Everybody on mute, give it up for Miss Terry. And
Good to hear you
Okay.
again, Terry. Thank you for sharing your work.
Deep, do you have another one you want to share? Or anybody else? If not, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. I do have to run, and I really appreciate everybody being here. And in addition to that, John, thank you very much for providing the platform this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, Rich, and I hope you come back again. It's
Yeah,
always
I
an
will.
honor to hear your craft and your work and your delivery of it. And I appreciate your work so much because it does paint a visual picture that kind of sucks you in. Like I almost feel like I'm one of the characters that you're writing about, and just the way you transmute emotion through those words and that picture is absolutely beautiful. So thank you.
Well, thank you. You would be one of the good characters in my story, so thank you. I'm going to say good night. Good night, everybody. Take
And I
care.
will be the evil bitch. Good night, Rich.
Rosie, don't put that in my mouth. Good night.
Well, thank you, Rich. Thank you, Terry. It's always a blast.
Bye,
Deep,
everybody.
Deep, thank you so much for
Good
being
night,
here tonight.
everyone.
Nadia, I hope you had a good night listening in. And Miss Catalyst, it's always a pleasure. So with that, I will say good night to everybody. Have a great week. And hope to catch you next week. Thank you. Good night.